All right, welcome back everyone to the ULTY portfolio update. This is for the end of the week on November 7th. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm on the last leg of my journey here in Vietnam and Da Nang, and you guys will get an update on that pretty soon. But today we're talking about how ULTY did so far this week. And if you just went on Google and looked up the 5-day chart, it was pretty ugly, down 8.23% on the week. Looking at Friday, though, there were 8 winners and 10 losers in the 18 stock portfolio. They did add one position as well this today, which we'll go over, but that's a 44% win average. The average stock was up 1.01%. Big winners were NP Materials, Affirm. Oh, shoot, this one. And actually, I had to make a quick correction. It's only a 17 stock portfolio right now. They sold out of BitMine Immersion Technologies. They did that midweek. They added a stock today, so it will jump back up to 18%. But revised numbers are 7 winners, 10 losers, 41% win rate, and average stock was up 0.62%. So apologies for that. But looking at it, the losers, IREN, NewScale, Cipher Mining, Lucid Group, I'm including that. They did sell out of Lucid today, and we'll go over the profitability of that as well. But just looking at the weekly returns, you can see that on average, their portfolio stocks were down 13.57%. The median was 13.23%. On the week, only one stock was up, and that was Affirm. The rest of them were down. Some of them down real bad. NewScale 30%, Rigetti 23, Quantum Computing 22, CoreWeave 22, and SoundHound 20%. So pretty bloody week for ULTY. So we're going to turn now to some of the individual trades. I said this in one of my newsletters, but ULTY sold out of BMNR, BitMine Immersion Technologies. This one, they took a pretty big loss of about 15 million. The stock itself was down 32 million, but they collected 17 million in options premium. They entered the position at around $54.86 per share, exited at 38.13, which, it was a bad trade and mostly affected by the price of Ethereum and just negative market sentiment, which drove this one down. Now, they also sold out of Lucid, and if I remember correctly, it was on Friday that they sold out of Lucid. This one, by my calculations, they took a $16 million loss here. Stock was down 29 million, collected about 12 million in options premium. And the number of options trades they placed on this was a substantial 45, owning it since the beginning of October 1st. And yeah, the stock tanked and there wasn't much they could do. Entered in at 105, exited at 76. So Lucid, also another one in the dumps there. The trades that I'm tracking so far that they've closed out of and taken losses on are rocket companies, BMNR, Lucid, Figma, and Pony. SoFi is the second most recent trade they put on. They did buy a company called Astera Labs. I'm not familiar with it, but if you Google Astera Labs, you'll see that it's a semiconductor manufacturer and AI company. Looking at the year-to-date chart, it's had a pretty wild run-up. Started the year at 134, right now trading at 165, but in between there, in April, went down to $55 a share. In September at 245, so ULTY's kind of entering it pretty much at the midway point since the beginning of the year. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, as I was saying, SoFi, that's turned negative. The only 3 that I'm tracking that are positive right now are Cipher, IREN, and Symbotic. And I just put in A-Lab, so we can actually do this together and get the total return. So we'll see if this one is positive or not. So A-Lab's total return as a percentage is 2.75%. The stock gain on A-Lab looks like they're up 500,000. The options gain or loss is 1.76 million. So the sum of that is that they're actually positive on ALAB, up 2.2 million. And this position is an $82 million position. So as ULTY kind of shrinks, they go from taking about positions that are about 150 million to what looks like 82 million. And actually, one thing I did want to cover for you guys is just the total outflows on the week from this fund. So net assets started at 2.38 billion, closed the week at 2.06 billion. So let's get the percentage change there. So 14% NAV decline. If you look at an ULTY chart, you'll see, or the 5-day chart, it's down 8.23%. So the remainder of that, this roughly 6%, is actually just pure outflows of people redeeming from the fund. And we'll see that in the next percentage change, which is they started the week with 485 million shares, ended the week with 445 million shares. So down 8% in shares alone as well, which is like basically 8% of the fund was redeemed and people got out of it. So that's kind of crazy to see as well. It's almost as if ULTY is bleeding from a major artery and just losing it, and that there's no way to stop it. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover with you guys. I guess we could take a look at the Astera Labs trade itself. So they entered the position at about $162, $164 a share. So on average, $164. They have sold a covered call at $167 strike price and $170 strike price as well. They've bought 2 protected puts at $145 and $150, and they've sold a put at the $140 strike price. So basically they want it to trade. They've got it in 2 blocks of shares, so they want the first block to trade between 145 and 167. They want the next block to trade between 150 and 170. And these all expire next week on the 14th, so next Friday. If ALAB can trade in between that, ULTY will remain positive on this trade, and they'll just keep the premium and hopefully exit with a nice profit. But looking at the dashboard overall, from these sold positions, they've not been doing well, but we do have, 30 million in our favor on here, but the total is minus 111 million average out of, 14 positions. On average, they're down 7.9 million per position. So not looking good for ULTY. Anyways, guys, that is the update for today. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you in a later video next week. Take care.